Whether you agree or disagree that Valve's Steam Deck should be considered a console, the deck will continue to draw comparisons against the Nintendo Switch. Of course, there are plenty of minute differences in between, but at the end of the day, they're both gaming handhelds that are comparably priced when you account for the Steam Deck base model. Nevertheless, there are a handful of factors that give Nintendo Switch a distinct advantage over the Steam Deck. Before we get started, if you're interested in seeing a top 5 reasons to buy the deck over the Switch, make sure to drop a like and comment down below. Without further ado, here are the top 5 reasons to buy a Nintendo Switch OLED over a Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has come a long way with regard to deck compatibility for the Steam library. As of today, over 7,000 games are either verified or playable, but the Steam library is massive. There are over 60,000 games available worldwide on Steam. That's an estimate of over 50,000 games that are either unplayable or require tinkering or a Windows boot to get them up and running on the handheld. Where the Nintendo Switch is concerned, the guesswork is completely removed from the equation. When you buy a Switch, you know with 100% confidence that each and every game that lands on the eShop is going to be able to run on the Switch. Now, whether it can maintain a steady 60 FPS is another story, but you can rest assured that the game is going to boot without any special protons in place and that the controls are going to work without any additional configurations. Just raw, carefree simplicity at its finest. The Switch may have a lower resolution on paper than the Steam Deck, 720p versus 800p, but it matches the deck in overall screen real estate at 7 inches, touchscreen functionality, as well as 60Hz refresh rate. This Steam Deck also has a slight advantage in overall brightness at 400 nits versus roughly 370 for the Switch. But let's be honest, these marginal gains don't amount to the Switch's OLED display, because I would rather have a 720p OLED display on the Steam Deck than the 800 IPS that we have now. I'm running Cyberpunk at 720p anyway. The Switch's OLED display is the superior, unquestionable winner when it comes to vibrancy, true blacks, and contrast ratio, regardless if the Decky Vibrant software is at play. If you've ever tried Nintendo emulation on the deck for games that are currently accessible on the Switch OLED, you'll know personally, these games on the deck simply lack that extra spark that truly brings these games to life when playing in handheld, especially in lower light environments. The Nintendo Switch is sporting a 16 watt-hour battery versus the deck's 40, but because the Switch has significantly less power and because it operates solely within a closed garden where each and every game is vetted and specifically fine-tuned for the system, the Switch's advertised battery life for the most part holds true. You can realistically squeeze 4 to 9 hours of gameplay out of the Switch depending on the title and the screen brightness. While on the Steam Deck, if I can manage 2 to 3 hours without a recharge, I'll be singing it from the hilltops. If you're not a fan of toting around a beefy power bank, or you don't have consistent access to a wall outlet, the Switch OLED will simply hang in there a lot longer than its counterpart. One of the drawbacks when it comes to more powerful compact devices is fan noise. Regardless if the Steam Deck ships with a Haoying or Delta fan, you're gonna hear it, and so is your partner lying right next to you at 3 a.m. in the morning while you're playing AAA games. I've been there. In these scenarios, the Nintendo Switch again straps on a cape and soars to the rescue. It has to be the quietest machine I've ever used next to a cell phone. I've owned the Switch OLED for nearly a year now, and I've probably only heard the fan kick on like twice. And when it does, I have to train myself to hone in and listen for it. This is another indisputable advantage for the Switch. As long as you're playing in a well-ventilated area, the Nintendo Switch is virtually inaudible regardless of the games that you're playing. Now, me personally, I'm more than willing to put up with a little bit of fan noise because I feel that the increased power is more than worth the trade-off. But everyone is not going to share that same sentiment. And if you find yourself gaming around a sleeping child or a partner a lot, then the Switch is probably your best bet. And last but not least, the #1 reason to buy a Nintendo Switch OLED over a Steam Deck is the IPs, aka first-party games themselves. While Valve has dabbled in the space since its founding in '96, Nintendo has been around since the 1800s and has developed some of the most globally iconic characters and video game franchises in history. For the opportunity to play Nintendo's latest games seamlessly without tinkering and configurations that can come along with emulation, the Nintendo Switch console is your best bet. And up until the original Switch, there has never been a more seamless and carefree co-op solution than the Switch Joy-Con system. And who knows, if the Switch hadn't come along to reignite the handheld gaming sector as a whole, we may have never even gotten the Steam Deck to begin with. So coming from that perspective, much respect. Before I wrap, what are your top 5 reasons to buy one of these devices over the other? And again, if you'd like to see a top 5 for the Deck over the Switch, make sure to hit the like button and drop a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.